I think I liked it better being blind, when I couldn't read between the lines, and when I couldn't see the cracks in the structure that lay bare before me the whole time. I think I liked it better back when I suspended disbelief and swallowed pride. I thought I knew the difference in the red from the blue, but they both bleed us so dry. They both bleed us so dry.
My favorite songs don't hit the same way. I get to the end of a 4-minute track and I'm only looking back thinking, what did they actually say? So I try to sit down with my wife and watch TV, but I just see propaganda elevating the police in the simplest of sitcom banter, and tiny little altars full of offerings to corporate masters in every well-planned wide pan shot of the name brand stocking up the pantry. Pull back one long tracking shot out to the garage to the logo on the Camry. Nice tight shot of the Camry. Close-up view of the Camry, slow pan up on the Camry, long slow zoom to the unmoving human who's up in the front with the tube pumping fumes to him straight from the back of the Camry. Ashamed he just could not provide for himself, let alone for his family. It's a blue pill mindset that spent 2020 making dance beats.
I think I liked it better being blind, when I couldn't read between the lines, and when I couldn't see the cracks in the structure that lay bare before me the whole time. I think I liked it better back when I suspended disbelief and swallowed pride, and thought I knew the difference in the red from the blue, but they both bleed us so dry. They both bleed us so dry.
Ignorance is bliss, which explains why a lot of us are so fucking happy. Quick to take the trip for all its trappings. Never one to ask what's up, what's going on, or God forbid what's happening. A lot of us would strap into the ride and then spit right in the eye of the guy whose job it is to snap your fastenings. But maybe we're all born with that capacity. Maybe each of us comes standard with humor, compassion, malice, and audacity. Some of us are blind to the system, but some see it fine and say this is how it has to be. Some of us can stare wide-eyed at a nationwide human catastrophe and only offer platitudes and recipes. And I wish that I could tell myself that nothing's worth obsessing past my everyday necessities. I wish that I could cry fake news over anything that threatened me, tune out our abuses and consume a little levity. Wish that I could offer up my son a smoother destiny. Wish I had some better lessons for how best to answer questions for the things I've been perpetually questioning. But I'm too busy looking at our leaders, wondering what I might be missing from their messaging. Trying to find the reasoning to let 250,000 people meet an early reckoning. And even though I know the truth, it's hard to swallow something that's so literally sickening. Hope is ever dwindling, COVID ever beckoning. Winter slows your breathing, but your pulse is ever quickening. Even though I know the truth, it's hard to keep listening. I'm done with my epiphany, my innocence is blistering. I'd like to think I'd taste the earth before I'd ever kiss the ring. Hard to speak the truth and harder still to keep listening.
Sometimes I think I miss being blind, when I couldn't read between the lines, and when I couldn't see the cracks in the structure that lay bare before me the whole time. I think I liked it better back when I suspended disbelief and swallowed pride. Thought I knew the difference in the red from the blue, but they both bleed us so dry. Both bleed us so dry. Both bleed us so dry. They both bleed us so dry. They'll gladly pay you by the hour for a minute or so, so you can sign off on the towers where they'll piss on your home. And if you feel like you're just powerless to answer them no, it's 'cause you are. They'll gladly pay you by the hour for a minute or so, so you can sign off on the towers where they'll piss on your home. And if you feel like you're just powerless to answer them no, it's 'cause you are. It's 'cause you are. They'll gladly stagnate a living wage, snap the chains, bury it. Labor slaves in rusty cages dragged behind a chariot, led by Mr. Racial Jungle, Joseph or Iscariot, fighting over scraps as they barrage us all with variants and BuzzFeed clickbait, straight until we're paralyzed, trying to distract us from the concentration camps that Joe had swore he'd close but only chose to amplify, where they got 50-something kids in cages made for 5 to occupy. And no, she hasn't seen the camps, but Harris swears they're paradise. She tells us the facilities are safe, and that right down to the women, they are regularly sterilized. Then she throws her head back and she proceeds to laugh, that sort of heartless cackle you'd expect from someone working steadfastly on behalf of the virus and a Congress full of parasites. And where was I? I was busy cashing every blue check, demonstrating plainly all the narratives expected from the verified. I was busy breeding verbal leeches by the terabyte. Train them to exsanguinate the wealthy while they sleep at night. Bleed the oil barons dry and barren, say they showed us how to share and now we share alike. Tell them I contracted rabies from a feral mic. Now I'm just another species losing sleep to noise pollution and these glaring lights, forced to change its habits and adapt to just survive. But now it's safe to say that some of us are thriving in the moment, throwing shit on presidential homes beneath the Paris skies. So if you feel like you're just powerless, I guess you bought the lie. But I can tell they're petrified of our collective might, 'cause I can hear those gentrifiers weeping at the sight of our collective rights. And I only can imagine the intensifying fear of knowing revolution's near, and all that's left to do is simply wallow in the thick anticipation of a rabid bite. And baby, one day you can ask your leaders just what that was like before you grab a slice. So if you think you're powerless, allow me now to change your mind. Honey, if you think you're powerless, allow me now to change your mind. See, they'll pay you hourly, tax them each apart, and build a shining tower out of loopholes and cards and tell you that you're powerless to keep you in the dark because you aren't, because we aren't. You see, they'll pay you hourly, tax them each apart, and make you build a shining tower out of loopholes and cards where they'll tell you that you're powerless to keep you in the dark because you aren't, because we aren't. False alarm. I thought that help was here. But it was my own reassurance bouncing around 100,000 times in my own ecosphere. If every time you speak you keep it off the record, consequently you can keep your record clear. And if you mute the speech that shakes your frail beliefs, you only seek to insulate your image and continue down the stream in the direction clout and credit steers. Directly from your mouth into am I the asshole Reddit's ears. Directly back into the greasy pockets of some Gates Foundation financiers. And then directly back into the frantic final thoughts of early trial Neuralink volunteers, staring at the numb and mumbling vacancies where recently had been their peers. Half of whom are glitching with the memory stuck on pause, and half have zero fucking clue just who they are or why they're here. It's been said that fear is all we have to fear, but that was back before the basosphere condenser came along, distilling concentrated fear that's diamond pure, crystal clear, oppressor strong, and woven into every single article you read and song they let you hear. And then Elon heard that Jeff enhanced our fears by 86%, and he said, hold my beer. And not a single sheep among the herd would turn their head or say a word, cause they were all too busy begging for the shears, begging for the muzzle, happy just to guzzle, feed, and watch a screen for all their years. Man, to each his own, can't afford a home, but they'll let you have your cozy little ecosphere. Where there among your own devices you can break the seventh seal, overthrow the oracles and slay the seer. All the tomes were burned and all the lips were seared. Shut your eyes and all our lives just disappear. Now blink 'em twice. Welcome to your ecosphere.
Hey everybody! See, I cut you off a second early. It is Indy. It is Jesse. It's American tradition. It's Tuesday night. We're ready for another one. I am definitely ready. Tuesday. Holy shit! Am I ready for another one? Yes. Hi everybody. As you can see from the chat, we got some people watching already. Big Mad Crab's here. Cynic's here. We've got Warren's here. I saw Uncle Warren in the chat. I think that's all bacon. Yes, our friend Joe decided
shout out to Crab real quick for the graphic. You said Crab.
Holy crap! Yes,
they're always winners, but tonight was just especially stellar.
He manages to top himself every week, and I don't know how he does it, but yet somehow he does.
So thank you.
So yes, it was something to see. I asked Joe to send me, hey, dude. What was it? What did you send that triggered the NAFO doggies that made them so upset? So I actually have the image here, and I'm going to bring it up for a second, and we'll throw it up on. I do. It's yeah.
It's like the chest in Raiders.
Ah,
That seems so harmless, you would think.
well,
But I guess if
it set
thrown
off
into the
these
right place,
guys.
you
It
know,
set off these guys that led to a mass report that led to.
I've heard that breed will turn on.
Yeah, them doggies did not really enjoy that very much, and yeah, I hear they're a little. I did not see that happening. Nobody, we all did not see that happening, and we did not see the Nazis. Yeah, sure. You see, I see. We did not see the Nazis. So we're here to hang out and play some tunes. And yeah, unfortunately, our friend Joe is over and trying to figure out what to do. And he's permabanned right now from Twitter. We're getting all his videos up on.
Pouring out some water for Joe right now.
Absolutely, we're pouring out.
Man, all over my leg.
We're drinking some coffee for at STFU Shitlib on Twitter. It's our brother. Again, soon enough, hopefully he'll be back. But we still have INN Twitter to put his videos out. We still have Instagram, Facebook, everywhere to put his videos out. I think we have more than 20 of them already on the INN YouTube channel where we're currently streaming right now. So there's a whole STFU Shitlib playlist just dedicated to his videos, including the Powerless soundtrack. The video for the Powerless song that came out on the Grift this summer, which you can get on jessejett.bandcamp.com for everybody. Ta-da! We got hospital bills to pay, everybody. So
yeah, no shit.
It's
funny they keep coming up. We thought the first one was like the main chunk, but then another one shows up and it's like literally just like, oh, this one doctor, it was a different shift in the ER. This one doctor that came in, this is $500 for this doctor. Like again, $2,200 of this bill is just room and board, and we were there for 2 nights. Like
that's a little more expensive than college, I would say.
No shit.
College is pretty damn expensive, room and board, but nothing like that.
Yeah, right.
So, Jesse, message. So, first of all, welcome. This is American Tradition. This is INN. This is I'm so rude. I am Indy. The guy on my side, as you can see, at Jesse Jett. He is a lyrical genius. Love him to death. But tonight he reached out this morning. He's like, I'm kind of feeling like I want to do some blues. I'm like, all right, that sounds good. So I was like, all right. So Blues Brothers ended up being the cover, and he writes out this description. So I'm going to read it out. Join us for an evening of mostly blues covers, since Trains and Depression are both trending. Also, Jesse debuts 5 more pieces from the upcoming spoken word album, The Co-opt, of which he only sent me 3. So I don't know where we're getting 5 from. But
one of them, on the album, it'll be 3 separate tracks, but they'll all kind of bleed into one another. So you can have them separately, but they're kind of meant to, like, the last line of each kind of rolls right into the first line of the next one. So I'm going to do them all in one chunk tonight. So you have one file that has all 3 pieces in one big old smorgasbord.
Nice. Okay.
That's
the this third one. This one here, Live from the Hall, Redline, and DJ, right? The 3 of them?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yep, that's
cool.
A triple threat.
That is a triple threat. Okay, so we're excited about that. Yeah, so
I had a bunch of tequila. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I got my.
It's Tuesday. I mean, why not?
Absolutely, why not? We've got chat here, and we got chat popping up in there. We've got Giro, we've got Cynic again, like I said. Jesse is actually in chat. Look at this. He can do everything.
I'm right there.
He's there. Grab. Where's Anthony Malecki? How are you, brother? Good to see you tonight. I'm sure Matt will be along. Everybody tweet stream out. Let everybody know we're here. Over on the Rockfin, Milburn Stone, who was here the other night. For how do we miss that? And shout out to Milburn. Thank you for coming back, hanging out. Actually, let me see. Can I get the? Did I put that up here? No, I think it's only when you're playing. If I go to Jesse playing, I can actually put this up, and There is Milburn Stone. There's his chat.
Oh, nice.
Boom. I gotta bless you. All right. See, that's the one thing. That's the one thing pros don't normally do on screen is sneeze. Not the guy I saw the other night. Nope. Fun. No. This isn't Reef. This isn't Reefer. This is Jesse. We got a lot of different members in INN. Woo! You all right? We're good to go?
We're good.
Okay. Mm-hmm. We have fun here. So, and I had the spotlight on you to do that too. I couldn't even single shot away.
I love it.
So
yes, tonight's gonna be fun. I mean, not everything is technically a blues number per se, but they're like blues adjacent, or at least in that kind of mood. So,
okay,
yeah,
and they're going to be spoken words, not music, or you're going to play some bluesy tunes.
Oh, the originals, yeah, are all spoken word, and we'll do those at the end. We'll get into some blues first, and then wrap it up with those new pieces.
Cool, badass, man. Let's So what else has been happening these couple of weeks? My goodness. We've done a bunch of shows, but we had that content strike, so we were over on my channel a couple of weeks ago. So we're back on INN. Hi everybody. Welcome back to INN. We were off for a week, and we got our 1 week in the penalty box, just like everybody everybody who questions anything seems to. We put out the Amazon and Labor Union and Chris Small's piece. Shout out to Colin for appearing today on Heartlands Media.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I'm sure, yeah, we're going to be going all over the place talking about that. I saw that Radical Leftist Agenda, Nikki, she was also talking about it on her stream today. She was going through it. I know it's long. There's a ton to go through again. It took us a long time to put this together. Union Drip, of course, your spoken word pieces in there, inspired by all that was there was just so much that came together to make that happen, and I'm proud of the way it's happened. I'm working on my next project, and we're going to be announcing that really soon. Very exciting stuff happening there.
Nice.
And wow, yeah, INN is growing. We just hit, I think, 1,200 followers on Rockfin, and we're getting close to 1,000 on YouTube. So please share out and subscribe if you haven't already. YouTube.com/Indie News Network, INDIE News Network. So what do we got?
All right. So this first one, I didn't actually know the full history of the song when I first started playing it, and I knew it was mid-30s. I was on this kick of going through early jazz songs that were like stoner themed because they were just hilarious, and I stumbled across this one, and it kind of sat around for a while until I think in the 50s Brenda Lee did it with some lyrical changes and a title change, and over the years it had a few different versions, one of which was the song Jessica Rabbit Sings. And I didn't know that until I hadn't seen the movie in a fucking 100 years. And I played it at a gig, and someone was like, "Hey, good job on that Jessica Rabbit song." And I'm looking back over my set list like, Jessica Rabbit song? Where did I do that? And it turned out that this was through several of its different iterations was the song Jessica Rabbit Sings in Who Framed Roger Rabbit. But originally it was called The Weed Smoker's Dream. And
like Weed Smoker's Dreams.
Sitting on a million, we sit on it every day. Won't make no money giving your stuff away. Why don't you do it now, like the millionaires do? and put your stuff on the market and make $1,000,000 too. Now fate's a betting woman, she bet on every hand. Tricky mother, she fought you. Now everywhere she lay, why don't you do now like the millionaires do, and put your stuff on the market and make $1,000,000 too. She makes a good looking fail down by the jail. We strapped to our backs, we got our stuff for sale. We know you do now like the millionaires do, and put your stuff on the market and make $1,000,000 too. Why don't you do now like the millionaires do, and put your stuff on the market and make $1,000,000 too.
I like it better than anything else.
Oh, you can't do that to me.
I just wanted to see your reaction. I had to do that to you. I'm sorry. That was perfect.
I almost choked on an ice cube.
We have fun here, as Jesse loves to say.
Oh, good God.
That's great.
Ooh. So a few of these I did during War and Palooza. And so I took them off of this set list. And a couple of them I did during War and Palooza, and I kept them on this set list, and this is one of them. This is the Snooks Eaglin version of St. James Infirmary.
Nice.
I went down to St. James Infirmary to see if my baby's there. She was stretched out on a long white table, so sweet, so cold, so frail. Let her go, God bless her. Wherever she may be, take a look this whole wide world over. You never find another man like me. When I die, you could bury me in Edwin Clapp's shoes. Get my best $12 put a $20 gold piece in my pocket, and let the fellas know I died standing pat. Let her go, God bless her. Wherever she may be, take a look this whole wide world over. never find another man like me. I went down to St. James Infirmary to see if my baby's there. She was stretched out on a long white table, so sweet, so cold, so frail. Snooks Eaglin.
So just soulful, you know. And I'm not gonna make you choke again this time. But we've got a few more in there that we can play with. We've been having some fun with the soundboard, so now you're gonna have to be on the lookout, right?
Can I just get a kitty real quick? Can you hit me with a kitty?
Kitty! Yes, actually, Warren recorded a new version of Kitty. Warren's on his way back. We're hoping for a new extra booyah, maybe even next week. There's going to be a little bit of a
coming out.
A secret show, maybe soon. I don't know if there's going to be maybe a secret, but there's also going to be there's a lot of stuff coming up with INN. Let me tell you. We got tomorrow night.
May not know. I may or may not know something about a secret show this weekend.
Yeah, may or may not, but there also may be a round table that pops up later this week that may or may not have been discussed for Thursday night. So that may be happening.
I'm finding out in the chat. It looks like I'm on the secret show Saturday night.
How about that? And then we got the return of secret show.
Just got thrown in the fire, folks.
See that? So tomorrow night we're gonna have INN News with Reef and Colin, and I think we're gonna have a special guest tomorrow night. And then Thursday, 6 p.m., we're gonna be having an interview, a conversation with a couple of ALU, Amazon Labor Union, ousted members who have been retaliated against and fired, or who have been rejected by the union even. Interesting to talk to them. And then Thursday night we're going to do Rando Roundtable at 9:30 Eastern. This is all Eastern time. And then Friday we're going to have Reefer After Dark is what I'm hearing. That's sounding like that's going to happen. Saturday night we got Secret Show. That's going to be around midnight-ish. Well, you got to pay attention and follow at W Dearman, and follow Extra Booyah, and follow I think that's the channel, youtube.com/extra booyah. You'll be able to get alerts for that. And then Sunday night, of course, we're back to How Do We Miss That? That feels like we just did that the other night. Oh yeah, we did. Oh wow, how about that? That was an awesome show, by the way. Reef and I did 2.5, almost 3 hours, and we did a couple longer stories that were really important. We're getting the clips out. First one was out today, and we're ready to go. You got some more stuff ready?
Oh, for sure. All right. This song, I actually might want to pop a capo on. So there was a band in my hometown growing up. Local band who I used to go to all their shows, and they made it like big enough to get signed by like a decent sized label that you could like go get their CD in a Target, and shit like that. They were called Don't Die Cindy. And one night I was playing a gig at this shitty little bar called Cleo's, and run into their guitarist and bassist, and we end up hanging out and smoking in their van. And we're talking about, stuff we were listening to at the time. And it was one of many like music exchanges with other artists that was super influential for me, where I turned them on to a band called Fair to Midland, who is one of my favorite bands and biggest influences. And they introduced me to an album by a band I was familiar with, but not enough that I would have gone out and listened to this on my own. The band was Thrice, and it was a concept album, 4-parter called The Alchemy Index, where they did a like Earth, Water, Air, and Fire albums. Fire being extremely heavy and distorted, Air being kind of wispy and fast songs, Earth being just acoustic, single room wood panel floor kind of recordings, and then Water was just like lo-fi muted trip hop kind of feeling to it. Just really, really, really beautiful stuff. And this is a song off of their Earth record. This is called Moving Mountains.
I speak in many tongues with many men. I argue with angels and I always win. But I don't know the first thing about love. Prophesy and no mystery. All hidden things are open up to me. But I don't know the first thing about love. I don't know the first thing about love. I had the keys to open any door, give all of my possessions to the poor, but I don't know the first thing about love. Yeah, moving mountains ain't no thing to me. I've faith enough to cast them to the sea, but I don't know the first thing about love. I don't know the first thing about love. But all other things will fade away. Love stands alone and still looks away. All other things to fade away into the ground, into the grave. I give my body up into the flame, and never once have I denied you, babe. I don't know the first thing about love. I don't know the first thing about love. Whew.
And there you have it.
Yeah, everybody's just saying, wow, holy shit. I mean, chat's just ripping up, of course. We've got Joe. Welcome, Joe. We've got the band. What's up, Joe? Oh, Joe. We're all
Joe,
good,
if you scroll back a little bit, I poured some out for you when we made your announcement.
Yes.
My leg's all wet. I would move the camera and show you, but trying to keep our PG-13.
Oh, that's maybe why his leg's wet. We won't talk about that.
We're fucked.
Yeah.
Thanks for waiting until I was done taking a drink.
Yes, that time I did wait. Oh, nice. Milbert Stone found the songs that he was looking for. Yippee Ani, the Syrian singer that from a band called White Dove, apparently. So they're chilling out and happy about that. Good. Glad to hear about that. So yeah, Joe's here. All right, now it's a party. Reef's here. I know Colin's listening in too. They're getting ready for INN News for tomorrow night. They're prepping the show. I am here listening to these tunes. Everybody's like, you just hit some notes right there and wailed out pretty good. So I'm ready for more of that.
I'm trying to see if I remember these chords. Okay, this has been a hot second. Let's see.
All right, so we're gonna figure out how to get people back in touch with Joe until he's back on Twitter. Whether that is through setting up a channel in the indie left.gg independent left.gg Discord, we could do that. There's a bunch of different options that we can talk about. Joe and I are going to discuss. We have our different secret methods of communication. So
The secret. That's the secret.
secret. 100,000 codes. That's true. That's a secret.
Okay, I think I got it. This was way more of a banger when Game of Thrones was still on air, but yeah. All right.
Oh, you proud lords, and I must bow so low. Only a can, a different code. That's all the truth I know. The code of gold, the code of red. A lion still has claws. Mine are long and sharp, my lord, as long and sharp as yours. And so he spoke, and so he spoke, that Lord of Castamere. And now the rains we pour his halls, and no one there to hear. Now the rains we pour his halls, and not a soul to hear.
That's a good one. Short. Yeah, that's about all I can say with that. That one's short.
All right. Here's another song by The Who.
Mama's got a squeeze box she wears on her chest, and when daddy comes home he never gets no rest. He's playing all night, and the music boy. Oh, mama's got a squeeze box, daddy never sleeps at night. You know the kids don't eat, and the dog can't sleep. There's no escape from the music in the whole damn street, 'cause she's playing all night, and the music's alright. Mama's got a squeeze box, daddy never sleeps at night. Oh, mama's got a squeeze box, daddy doesn't sleep at night.
Another quickie. I'm full of them tonight.
Well, we like that. It goes in and out and in and out.
Oh, yeah. I forgot that part. I haven't played that song in
Playing all night.
a minute.
Yeah, it's got that weird, like, I don't know what kind of instrument that is that makes that. I don't know if it is his guitar, if Pete does that, but yeah, I got to see The Who once, play a couple songs. That was
Nice.
pretty unreal. Yeah, I actually have a list of songs, because we were gonna do like a request thing. So I actually have a list of songs for Jesse set up on my Spotify now. So whenever, like, first of all, people want to hear Incubus. They always want to hear you play Incubus. Whatever you can play with
I've had a
Incubus.
couple of people tell me that they thought I sounded like Brandon Boyd, which I've never agreed with any of the musical comparisons I've heard, but it's always interesting to see what people hear. And
Right,
that
so
Brandon
that's
Boyd is what I've heard more than others.
yeah. I could hear you like wailing out "Drive," for example, or "Goodbye Blue Sky." There you go, Pink Floyd. I got that in front of me. And then you said something about the Beatles.
Oh yeah, Dr. Hook. Oh shit.
Oh, Dr. Hook. Oh, darling. Did you do Oh, darling? I don't think you did. That
No, I did that at a disastrous cover gig once that I was supposed to run sound for a band. Their singer couldn't show. And I was like, yeah, I can do this. And then last minute, they're like, by the way, we played all these songs on like a higher key than normal. And I was like, oh, fuck me. And they were like ridiculously high.
right,
So
that's right, because
I had to
you told the
kinda
story.
80s metal scream my way through Oh Darling in some places. It was
Because it was
It
like
was
a
like
woman, right? Who was their
Jackal,
singer?
you know,
Wasn't it a
Darling.
woman? Who was their singer initially? Like it was.
Yeah, and they didn't tell me that till the last minute, and they were playing their stuff crazy high. And yeah, oof, it was rough. It was like if Jackal did Oh Darling.
Oh boy.
I wish I should play some fucking Jackal. Let's really shred.
Uh,
Who here knows the Lumberjack song?
Reef is asking for Crocus. No, I'm kidding. He's just jokingly asking for.
You know what? Again, not exactly blues, but blues adjacent. Minor chords. This is a Townes Van Zandt song that Robert Plant and Alison Krauss do a fucking killer version of. This is called Nothing.
Hey mama, when you leave, don't leave a thing behind, 'cause I don't want nothing, can't use nothing. Take Kevin to the home, and if you see my friends, will you tell them I'm fine? Them not using nothing. Oh, I almost burned out my eyes. I threw my ears down to the floor. I didn't hear nothing. I didn't see nothing. I stood there like a block of stone, knowing all I had to know and nothing more. Man, that's nothing. See, being born is going blind and bowing down 1,000 times to echo strong on pure temptation. Sorrow and solitude, these are the precious things and are the only words that are worth remembering. Say, hey mama, when you leave, don't leave a thing behind, 'cause I don't want nothing. I can't use nothing. Can't use nothing, woman.
Yeah, the Robert Plant, Alison Krauss version of that song, I can't recommend enough.
That's a badass tune. Yeah. Okay. So we've got now it's just like it turned into request night and everybody's throwing up stuff and
Boss Gags.
yeah, Boss Gags. We've got a kitty. Who had kitty? Was there a kitty in the background or something? Somebody had a kitty. Oh, Joe put a kitty in chat. Now I get it. Yeah, we need you. We need Jesse to go topless to make this a real Game of Thrones experience. Yeah, I don't know if I want to. We really want that, Mr. Reef.
I mean, like one would be discreetly hidden behind the guitar, but the other's gonna sag right. It's gonna just kind of like hang right there. Nobody wants that.
Yeah.
Do I
Well,
do Billie Holiday? I don't.
I know a few people.
I wish I did.
And yeah, Doctor
No, I don't-
Hook, and we got Boz Skaggs, and yeah, Billie Holiday.
Skaggs.
Boz Skaggs. Yep. Metabots. Wow.
Boz Skaggs probably uses some weird fucking 80s jazz chords. Oh fuck no, I can't. No, sorry, sorry for it. Boz Skaggs. Oh, where did you sleep last night? Goddamn. I mean, if I do the genuine article, where did you sleep last night? I'd have to save that for the end and just wreck my voice. If I want to curt it up.
Reese said Dr. John. I don't know if you know any Dr. John.
I don't know any Dr. John. That's on the list for the request site. We're gonna have to do a run down the list of things people have asked for over the time and learn all and like do a whole request night.
So
we make good on all of those.
Anna Mayers is over on the Rockfin saying, Jesse, why don't we have an acoustic version of Militia Intent on any album? Sick of rewinding old podcasts. Lift my fucking ass up.
I keep putting off the acoustic versions album for like other new projects, so I might just narrow it down to just record an acoustic version of Militia Intent.
Melissa Intent, that's even better.
If I ever have a little girl, it's not too late. Melissa Intent. If we go for baby number 2, Melissa Intent.
The middle name Intent, yes. Melissa Intent Jett.
Or perhaps my next Dungeons and Dragons character.
Anthony Malecki's on I-69 North. First he got off at exit 69. Now he is on Route 69. Good for you, Anthony. That's our brother over there over in the trucker. What's Discord? So Anna, now, did you ever play Militia Intent, or you just read Militia Intent as a spoken word? I don't remember.
I'm sure I've done it acoustic. Have I?
Did we play it on American? Because if so, I'll cut it for Anna and I will send it over.
No,
to
maybe
her.
we haven't.
We have not.
We should do it right now.
Well, then shit. You're gonna get one live, and then I'll cut it and send it.
I mean,
to
it's
you.
my show. My God, if I'm not going to do it here, where would I do it?
Cynic says she remembers doing it one time, and right when the vocals bust wide open, you kicked the chair behind you and hardcore nailed it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Back in my crazy.
Played it last time or the time before. Yeah, we'll do it any. Yeah, it's funny. That's really change his name to Melissa Intent Cynic. Yeah, that's really funny.
Can't keep giving us nothing and think we're bluffing about coming for your heads. Why play civil if you won't listen? Or 50,000 dead. Now we know our mission. We form a militia, make Congress a prison. So why play civil when all these dead won't make you listen? What's more American than slaying your oppressors? What's more American than liberty or death first? God, I thought we were founded on abolishing the tyranny of those who would starve a village all to live empirically.
And I regret that I have only one life to give for my cause, now that I can see the cause so clearly. Cause I want our leaders, regardless of party, to fear me. That I will pick my targets and assassinate them lyrically. That I will bring them out into the town square, hook them to the pillory and leave them there. And Hillary, I'll see you there. Oh, Hillary, I'll see you there.
You can keep giving us nothing and think we're bluffing about coming for your hands. Oh, I'd play civil with you and listen to 100,000 dead. And now we know our mission. We form a militia, make Congress a prison. So I play civil when all these dead will make you listen.
Welcome to the fantasy of rhetoric. Welcome to the last of the free speech, just while we can get it. And I promise you can get it. All you corporate Democrats, second wave Confederates, GOP illusionists and neo-Nazi bureaucrats. And Stephen fucking Miller, I will see you in the aftermath. When all the laws are dust and there's just moral justice after that. And I would hunt you through the wasteland if it comes to that. So I could rub you in the dirt like a cheap human Brillo pad. I can sleep fine when our beds are burning, Stephen, but I'll turn around and run into the blaze to get my pillow back. And as long as I can lay my head down, I can live with that. I can deal with a little ash. Cause I can feel like a little of the old me burn with the bed and the rest of my past. The old world where we all lived and we can't get back. The old world where you didn't give and you'd still get back. Where you could rake in 12 billion and give none back. Well, those days are behind us. The virus will kill all of that. Your wealth is behind us and kindness is meant for the past. Our leaders would bind us and starve us and call it a fast. A sacrament meant for their God that they garnish in cash. They feed it the poor by the hundreds, that's all that it asks. Its hunger is legion and people in need are all it will have. Our only chance is to starve it and watch as it turns on them.
You can keep giving us nothing and think we're bluffing about coming for your heads. Can keep giving us nothing and think we're bluffing about coming for your hands.
Oh yeah, that is definitely anthem lighter stuff. I remember that for sure. Cynic said it was a couple weeks ago. I think it might have been at the end of Warren Palooza. It might have been the week after.
Might have been. Yeah, it was Warren Palooza. That was when we went for the 3-hour tour.
Yeah, that was so awesome.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to leave a tip, download, and there is jessejett.bandcamp.com. That's not on there yet, but I'm sure at some point it will be soon. I don't think you can download Militia Intent there. But Anna Mayers, since she's a super fan and she's hooked us up with quite a few tips and been a big supporter both for Warren Palooza as well as some other streams and all of our INN shows and everybody in our space. Anna's just one of the best, seriously. She's been around in our, since I've been watching streams and really kind of through this whole awakening, Anna Mayers has always been one of the fans that we remember in chat, and she's always kind of around, and we appreciate her very much. So
shout out to Anna Mayers. She had messaged me once and been like, you should do a piece about food scarcity. And that ended up being an abundance of scarcity on the coming of spring. So
yeah,
fun fact.
And look at that. We figured out how to get her chat up on, I don't know, I'm on mute, but for me, Libyan song. Thanks, INN, Milburn Stone. Good to see you here again. Thanks for hanging out and staying. Glad you found the song you were looking for. Definitely we'll check that out. We're gonna have the link in the chat, and after the show I'll go listen to that for sure. Lazy Quackhole. That's a great name. I love that one. Jenna Colby. See, we got fam popping in. This is good. I like this.
This next song, this is a heavy one. This is an original that I don't think I've played on any streams before. When I lived in the Keys, there was a friend of mine that I played music with, and he had a few straight weeks of just really heavy LSD use, and then he started smoking the weird like spice stuff, like gas station fake weed you could buy that was just kind of whatever chemicals they could legally sell, and that changed him like permanently. That in just a very he was never quite the same. He was kind of lost in the woods after that. So this song was really heavily inspired by that, not to be confused with Song for John off of The Virus. This is just called John.
I saw Heather walking down the street the other day. We only spoke a moment, but I got bored anyway. She said, "How's John? I haven't seen him since September now." I asked her if she'd ever watched a bird pluck all of its feathers out. If every man's an island, I think John's a fucking water spout. I met Brian at the hospital on Wednesday night. He nursed a busted lip, I watched it drip in the fluorescent light. When I said, "How's John?" Brian didn't even turn to me. He said, "I feel like I just watched a man put cinder block around his feet. But if all of us are guilty, I think John must have the judge's seat." I saw John out of the corner of my eye today. I ran across the road to try and catch him lest he slip away. And I said, "My God, it's good to see you, man. Are you alright?" He said, "I found a wire in my wall. I couldn't sleep last night. And so I tore the place apart and made a chart of where the speakers lie. If every man's an island, I think John might be a satellite." Oh, John dreams of fire in the air and he's paralyzed. Every time he stops himself enough to finally close his eyes. Oh, John dreams of fire in the air and he's paralyzed. Every time he stops himself enough to finally close his eyes.
And that's John.
That is John.
And who wrote that? That's not
That's an original.
That's an original. That's a Jesse Jett. Oh shit.
That's a Jesse Jett.
Dude, like how many songs have you written? What's the total number? Like you said something about 80 some odd songs, right? But
yeah, that's just from like recent. That doesn't count old. I mean, I probably had in the 70 or so before that. Yeah, it's which is interesting. I probably have written more in the last couple of years than previously, you know, as a whole.
Cynic says like 1,000. Yeah.
I mean, I would say well, songs that I like play out, I guess. Yeah, there's probably a lot of songs I wrote when I was a kid and stuff that I like. But in terms of gigging, like set list originals.
What do your parents say about their music today?
My mom is super, super supportive and right there with me. My dad is proud, but disagrees. And it's interesting because I think he's at the point that he has just told himself he disagrees to the point that he doesn't listen with the open mind that I would hope he would. Because on a core level, I'm kind of like, what, you know, exactly do you disagree with in terms of asking for better living conditions for people, you know? But again, a lot of people tell themselves that they're not going to agree with you. And so they don't try to. It was honestly really quickly into me saying like, I'm not going to vote anymore because it's either way, we're getting screwed by the same people. It doesn't change. And that was just kind of a big branch off moment right here.
But vote harder, Jesse. Come on.
Yeah. Right. Wonder if we want to fire off one more before we get into these spoken word pieces. Oh, that's what we'll do. I played this. This might have been at Warren Palooza too, but I was playing it in an alternate key, trying a different way. But I wanted to play this like as the original version again. This was an old original. This is called Disruptor.
Drug my bag to the station, up to the borderline. The heaviest hands I could muster, heaviest hands I could find. Oh, the heaviest hands I could muster, Lord, the heaviest hands I could find. Conductor just told me this train's at its limit, can't take the weight of my mind. Well, I won't lecture you how to read your dreams, won't pressure you when you need to eat. You know I damn sure ain't gonna tell you you need, but I bet you my soul you come sleepwalking hungry to me. Oh, hungry to me. If ever my hearing interrupts you and my music is laid at my feet, honey, spark up that holy disruptor. Won't you put out the pins in my knees? Oh, spark up that holy disruptor. Now I want you to put out the pins in my knees. If you can't hold my hand when I suffer, I can't hold my tongue when you speak. into my soul. You come sleepwalking hungry to me. Oh, hungry to me. Oh, hungry to me. If you can't hold my hand when I suffer, then I can't hold my tongue when you speak.
I like that one too. Yeah, that's Disruptor for sure.
Off of my old SoundCloud. I don't know. All right, so yeah, let's get into these spoken word pieces before it's
all right. All right.
Are you
So
through an hour of blues? By God, folks, look at us.
yeah. So
Well,
what do we want to
in
start
blues
with?
Let's start with skin suits. Because I just like saying.
Oh, watch this one. I'm gonna mess with Jesse.
These are pieces for
nobody else can see this, but you can. What's up, dude?
Hey, what's up, Indy? My gosh, I'm seeing the man's skin suit. Look at that.
Yeah,
well, not the whole thing. But
yes, he gets to see the skin suit for a second. Oh God, that sounds really awful.
Just flash the whole skin suit. That's Jesus Christ. You got Apple Model 3 slave collar open. We can do that one too. Whatever's great.
Whatever you need. I got them right here. Skin suits is right here.
There we go. So yeah, co-opt is looking like 10 spoken word pieces. And then I'm gonna kind of do like I did with the Grift. I'm gonna release a spoken word thing and a music thing too on the same day.
A companion.
So right now I'm cooking up the music side, which is gonna be it's a little moody, a little groovy, it's got some really interesting songs that I'm really excited about. Taking my time with it, but everything for the spoken word album is written, so I'll probably start recording soon. But yeah, this is Skin Suits. Gorillas in the mist, skin suits in the Senate. Water in the streets, chest deep like it's Venice. Water in a tap in Jackson comes blacker than resin. Black incidentally like most of its residents. Which is why it isn't on your television, isn't on the lips of your president. I'm admitting that as evidence. I am building a case to be made for the testament. Don't know what our collateral count is, but doubt it is less than the estimate. Show us a hospital. Watch as we Dresden it. Our propaganda is taken to heart and you're scarfing it, like it or not. If you think that you aren't, I would urge you to pick that apart because you're smoking it, eating it, driving it, dressed in it. We pay for it, pray to it, bathe in it, fill up the basin, and babies are blessed in it. Ask no questions, bask in the pestilence. When the plague goes live, you'd be wise to invest in it. When the plague goes live just between you and I, that's an industry sign that they're all done testing it. Come 2025 and they'll all be confessing it. And a few small fry fall guys all fly from the precipice, who were doomed to be wasted like shell corporations, dissolving to vapor, then gone with the resonance. Gone with the sense and the sentiments. Gone with the dust of the remnants. Gone with the ghosts of the regiment. Gone with the families in Gaza whose bodies and homes are demolished when Israel sets up a settlement. Gone like your chance at a settlement. Gone like the hope of apologies out of the ones who've been funding our deadliest research and backroom development. Gone like your shot at Amari from out of the mouths of our own bioterrorists. You can't imagine the face of the monster. You can't even fathom the scale of its carapace. It's under your feet, yet you're barely aware. It's quietly judging the scope of your suffering, sizing you up like a therapist, to rise in your guts like a parasite, growing in size and excreting a culture that's purely embarrassment. Equal parts Manson and Marilyn, equal parts something we push into madness and something we'll gladly exploit and objectify 50 years after it perishes. Carefully crafted and planned and arranged like a monarchy's marriages. Cousins or otherwise, scourge of the colonized, staged and displayed for the sake of retaining imperial barracks, to expedite a special type of anglicized dysplasia, where half the world is waking up to learn they're being raided, raped, and robbed of all their heritage by Charles and his caravan of 30 servants' carriages.
Each in the procession is worth infinitely less until eventually they're paid in sums of crown-approved disparagement. Bonuses of shame until they're finally told to thank the highest-ranking inbred pig proclaimed the king of every garrison, who rose into his power all immaculate like Harris did. Well, now the garishness is melting down like paraffin. It hardens in a shell that shelters terrified and threatened royal terrapin that rule with zero question, although nobody elected it. Democracy was here till we dissected it. Democracy was here until the exhibition exodus, and now it's just a husk we rendered barren. Well, I showed up at the banks and met a hooded man named Karen, who was sailing in the fetid air eternally and quietly. He said for 50 cents he would shepherd me to where I'd find some solace for my spirit neath the diadem of piety. I said I can't afford the ride. Insurance went for every dime, and any wealth that's mine is of the paperless variety. So now in limbo on these crowded shores, I'm nothing more than refugee and refuse of a cashless new society. That's skin suits, y'all.
Definitely a few. Oh, I definitely am glad that the mic was muted for that one, because with the one with the appointed like Harris was just thrown in there, just so smooth, and I was not ready for that, and that was like, yep, I'm with that. No, that's great. Yeah. Oh, I can already hear like music behind this. Like this is,
and see, that is one that I'm thinking, like, should I just leave it as spoken word, or should I do it's hard. There are some pieces that if I want music that really works with the movement of it, that piece would have to change time signatures and do a lot. And it'd be one of those things where I'd be like, okay, my next record's coming out the spring of 24. It's gonna be a
hashtag General Strike 2024.
Oh yeah, 15, right? Is that what we're doing?
Oh man, oh, we have lots of fun here. All
right, let's
yeah, you want to go to Apple Model 3?
Let the joint,
you want to do the something else?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's because the last one's a doozy. It's no co-opt, but it's about 10 minutes if I'm doing all three in the way they're intended. So yeah, this is Apple Model 3 Slave Collar. Welcome to the future. Shit where you please. The Wi-Fi is great, but there's no more bees, so there's hardly any flowers. There are very few trees, and you'll pay $1,000 for some honey for your tea. But we got these awesome collars. Mine's an Apple Model 3. It allows for better movement than the Tesla X Elite, lets you customize the ads that it implants in every dream, and with a premium subscription doesn't shock you in your sleep. But it doesn't stop there. It can analyze your speech. If it hears disinformation, then it notifies police, and it's a swift re-education, but it knocks you off your feet like your booster every 7th week. I faced the future boldly, with 2 eager open eyes, and I picked a couple nuggets up that blew my fucking mind, like you can taxidermy someone while they're technically alive, and they'll shine when it's election time. The Democratic voter base will pay them zero never mind if voting for the scarecrow is a vote along their party lines. They could stare into its marble eyes and claim there's something dignified. Unlike real politicians, this one doesn't need an oxygen or kid supply. But its function is the same as those who came before. The goals are never misaligned. It spends its working time performing pre-recorded fleecing sessions where it sugarcoats your slow and hungry genocide, while pouring billions into Nazi coffers, all the while selling you the story that we're moment till the MiGs arrive. So ask Zelensky if he'll help replace our leaded pipes. Watch a fleet of Penske's show with stacks of bills in every size. It only took a black sun and a couple hiles. Honorary goose step in Nazi boots a quarter mile, all while Biden sneers his sordid smile. I don't know what was in this morning's vial, but it makes him stare 1,000 yards through all the prompters and the cards like he can smell the nearest child. His eyes are wide and wild, wider than the grave in which another 1,000 families were tossed in as I typed till they rose up to the sky unceremoniously piled. Which flies into the face of all the network ticker tape where the American economy has superhuman vitals. I like to think my trial's gonna play like a recital. I'll denounce the world around me and accuse the most entitled, who weaponize their titles, whose pull is something tidal, and who'd starve us all to death to best delight their blighted idol. So they might destroy the record, and I'll never get to vinyl. So my word is not immortal, but it's final. And that is Apple Model 3 Slave Caller.
My word is not immortal. That's a lyric from somewhere. I'm not hitting it. My mind is not working right now. Much.
Oh, we need to Google that shit, stat.
It feels like that is a common phrase somewhere. Nope. My immortal, but no, not my word is not immortal. Okay. And then there's Evanescence. Yeah, my immortal. Okay.
That scared me for a second, man.
Yeah,
You can't do that to me.
Wait, no, but it's final. It definitely is final.
There was once I was so convinced I came up with this really cool song and I'm like figuring out on guitar and I've got this awesome melody in my head. And then I'm like, wait a second, this is a fucking Strokes song. And it terrified me because I legitimately, there are a lot of artists I love that I don't listen to because I worry it's going to make its way into my head. I listen to a very finite bunch of music now, an awful lot of 50s stuff. That uses kind of the same chord progressions, so there's really nothing that's gonna like sneak its way in. I love Aesop Rock more than anything. He's one of my favorite artists, easily my favorite living lyricist. And I hadn't listened to a record he put out in 2020, and I started listening to it last week, and it's so good. But right away, I'm like, as soon as I get someone else's line stuck in my head, I'm like, shit, like, I don't want that to just like sneak its way into my subconscious. And one day I'm looking through a couple rhymes and I steal, 4 out of 5 words in someone's rhyme scheme or something. That would terrify me. So I'm like, sorry, I've got to not listen to you anymore. I just like went back to my buddy Holly where it's safe.
Okay.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I mean, I know some musicians that straight up don't listen to music, that they're like, they want to create and they don't want anything getting in that way. I'm not that severe, but there are some people that like their stuff gets in my head in a way that if I'm trying to work on my own music, it's just, I can't do 2 things at one time like that.
Wow.
Because if I'm listening to a record and I love it, I know all the words front to back. I'm singing it in my head all the time. I'm listening to it and wearing it out for a few months, and I can't do that while I'm also trying to do my own thing. So, Aesop, if you're watching this, which I'm sure you are, I'm sure you're one of the dozen or so people that are hanging out with us. But I'm really sorry. I'll get to it as soon as I retire.
Speaking of cool conversations and watching, you went on a pretty cool podcast since the last time I think we were.
I did, yeah. I was on with Malcolm Byrne, who is an awesome musician and has some really incredible credits throughout his career. But it was a super fun interview, which he said when I wrap up the next record that he'd have me back. And Malcolm, I'm very much looking forward to that, because we were talking and I just finished writing the co-op a couple days prior. And he asked what I had in mind, and I was like, how long do we have between commercial breaks? And he was like, how long are you thinking? I was like, it's about 17 minutes. He's like, all right, we're gonna do a commercial break, then you can do the piece, and then we're gonna do another commercial break right after. And we did. He let me do all of the co-op in one big chunk, and it was fantastic. It was so much fun.
That's like Inagata Davida. Every DJ's always looking for that 17-minute song to go take a crap. So you just gave it to him. He's like, yes, another one. They don't come up with concept albums anymore. It's 3 minutes and we're out.
Anytime I used to play gigs where they had the like internet jukebox, I had a couple places that didn't turn it off when the band started. So then when you're on your break, people are putting money in it and then they want to hear a song. Well, they only got 15 minutes before the thing's getting cut off again, and then they all get pissed. So what I would do is I would go right before my set and play a song by the Mars Volta called Cassandra Gemini. It's 32 minutes long, and it took both of my breaks up in a 3-hour gig, and no one had to worry about. They'd be like, when is this fucking thing going to end? It'd run through the whole 15 minutes of the first break, and they'd get to the next break. They're like, all right, jukebox time. And then my song kicks right back in where it left off and rounds out the next 15 or so minutes.
Shit.
It was my only way to stop getting more angry because they already wasted money. At least it was just my 50 cents and no harm, no foul.
That reminds me of a Neil Peart drum solo, kind of. Except nobody's like,
Right.
dude, when this is gonna end? It's like, oh my god,
Yep.
is he still going? When's he going? When his arm's gonna fall off? Is more like it.
Yep.
That guy, R.I.P. Neil.
I was going for prog with this last piece, although it's just spoken word. I wanted to have 3 pieces that, if you're on shuffle, each one works just fine on its own, and kind of has a little bit distinct of a tone, but they're intended to go one right into the other. So that's what we're gonna do. The first piece is Live from the Hall of the Undead. Second one is Red Lion White Power Blueprint. And last one is DJ Daedalus. I don't know if I got any Greek mythology nerds in the house, but this one's for you. Here we go. Hold the phone. The end's not abrupt like an overdose. It's a year in slow motion sort of like an overdose. Sort of like you're comatose, watching out of body while they blow the donors, close the polls, and say they've saved the nation's soul safely from the comfort of their mega yacht, which looks a lot like someone took a motorboat and bred it with a summer home. It floats at peace somewhere alone, somewhere beyond the dogs and drones and all the noxious, toxic smoke that's in our lungs and blood and bones. This island earth, this thunderdome, the undertow and our undertones. Have gun will travel to sack Damascus, take half of their oil, then have to roll. Come back tomorrow for the rest to go. Got an axe to grind, got a grid to roam, got a world to police on behalf of the half of the 1% who craft raw consent that you will never own a home in their paid op-eds. While I've been slogging through the trough of bots and paid ops and obvious fresh feds, lobbyists break bread with the salt of the earth, coming to you live from the Hall of the Undead. Constituents unfed. The policies promised were unsaid come sunset. Unacknowledged and impoverished drudges who trudge the underground, led around solely by the gaslight. Brighter to our bleary eyes than halos made of tungsten. Tighter than the knot that your tongue's in. Welcome to this country's final form and its soulless soul function. Bet you hopped a dozen homeless folks to catch your little brunchin'. You can keep your private clubs, I'll wield a public truncheon. Crack a house of skulls that only represent corruption. Puppets made of shit and greed that all our taxes barely feed, and all your checks cannot compete with that sweet education budget. They'll lay the dynamite and detonate at early light, and all we are from that day on is a silent movie firefight, a cold war by the fireside, vanities all burning bright, sort of like a mosh pit on a starless night, sort of like a molten curse I wrote in words of diorite, sort of like a spoken verse I hoped would serve to spark the surge and instigate the type of purge that burns their perch and plays their dirge and shepherds our oppressors to the dirt from whence they came. Every word I've written is a version of my name, an extension of the purpose I am taking to my grave. I'll be silent as the earth is with democracy's remains while you're marching on the surface for the hope of Roe v. Wade. Trying to push your leaders back to where they'd always stayed, wondering what made them change their minds November 8th. Deciding that it's just a couple dinos playing fake, so next time we can vote them out and things will be okay. Try kneeling with an open mouth, the boots might go away. Like every politician, whether left or right or center, is not a flea-infested predator that's playing with their prey. Loving every moment that we're struggling to keep going, but then once we finally die, the thrill of hunting's not the same. So they're off to greener pastures, where they're after tougher game. And there's no attempt at husbandry, the meat all goes to waste. They don't come to fill their stomachs just to fill a trophy case. They don't really like the way the peasants taste. Besides, they're full of plastic anymore, it's hardly safe. Better off to eat their raises on a bed of interns, poached and braised. Too drunk to hear the crying of the ghosts of slaves, fossil record, frozen wage, Rosencrantz and Gilded Age, existential pressure plates. A presidential motorcade, followed by your owners forcing you and yours to procreate. And then the donors press reset, the villains alternate, and go the way of Lieberman, who skipped out like a stowaway. Now 9/11 was a holy day for brokers of the War Brigade and hawks atop the stock exchange. It's economic growing pains for working class with taxes paid, but past the gates, the scent pervades of record-breaking profit gains. You'll huff it drooling till it dwindles down and off it fades. And God, it smells like it was worth its weight in office space. It's just a glimpse of how our jealousy indoctrinates, how Elon's smug and mocking face exemplifies our rodent race. Well, it shouldn't take a lottery to keep your place.
You shouldn't need a miracle for groceries. You shouldn't have to ration out your insulin as someone's greed necessitates. That's not how it's supposed to be. These ancient fucks aren't sacred saints, they're mafioso potentates who don't deserve devotion or the mercy born of pity's grace, the single-handed scavengers of life from every cityscape, who wave the old inflation wand like here's your cost of living raise. And on command, the drips that form the righteous democratic wave are crashing loud, their voices proud to gush and moan their praise. God bless the lesser evil that has numbered all our days. They strung us up and gutted us and wrung us dry and gray, and they never broke their gaze. They sanctioned all their citizens whose battle cry is thanks. For every 1,000 pensions burned, they earn an Abrams tank that aren't intended to defend us. They will just be used against us once we're sick of being dividends and dare to storm the banks. And we're kettled, gassed, and flanked, drowning mouths agape, saturated full of mace, thirsting even for the metal in the leaded glass Obama drank. And that's the closest thing to reparations they'll accommodate. They're busy looking for Ukrainians to make it rain, killer swag from Raytheon, and cold stacks of compensation. The good old USA has quite a long and storied past of patting Nazis on the back, which helps explain the ugly fact a former Nazi-headed NASA, one was NATO's chief of staff, and one the Secretary Gen of the United fucking Nations. That's the soul they talk about restoring in their speeches and their banners and their ads that run ad nauseum on every station. And no, we're not the greatest generation, but the greatest generation didn't seem to care or notice Nazis making mass migrations. This is the final boarding call for the SS assimilation. Watch and wave and don't connect the names, just stay complacent till you're fast asleep and can't perceive the fasc-adjacent tapestry of red-line blueprints from white power masons and the architects who dreamed each bigot brick in our foundation, who built an institution that colludes on base of race to see if when you run the race, you ever make it out the gates, or if they start you in the winner's circle, which case you can thank your birthright, namesake, good grades, fresh face, and possibly the fact you didn't grow up under occupation. And that's the very crux of the American abomination. It's what this country fucks into your head on every station through faux opposing views of red and blue that serve the same predation. The devil's in the details and the implications. The devil's in the thinly veiled intimidations. The devil's voted present every session and attended every Oval Office conversation. And that's how things have gone since our creation. And will until we kill the last chrysanthemum and numb the last sensation. From the glacier to the streets, from the river to the sea, to a little stream in Ecuador as black as it can be. I know it's hard to watch the trauma on a tiny screen. You gotta pinch and zoom to catch them changing magazines. Single-digit deaths in standard def just doesn't sell the scene. We're gonna need it 4K Morte, more gore, more hardcore, and a pretty heavy splatter theme. And now you're satisfied, if a bit desensitized. You shake your head a dozen times, say we've run amok with crime, and then decide police are gonna need some more support and more funds if they're gonna thwart the next 7 Columbines. You say this wave of violence is like nothing that you've ever seen. Guess you've only been with us a couple weeks. Guess you'd say the future's pretty fucking bleak. Maybe in the future, I won't fucking speak. I'll fall in love with the acquired taste of holding tongue and biting cheek. Turn the coffee off and finally give up fighting sleep. Then in a decade when my son is wondering what I did while they were squelching rights under the guise of finding peace, I could tell him that I'd finally had enough and found a hobby where I didn't grind my teeth. Took my every passion and I stuffed it underneath a bunch of basic beats I made to sell for $20 each. And every line I wrote that felt a little too insightful I ignored till they eventually were buried down beneath. Buried with a part of me that's safely out of reach. That which cannot do and cannot talk enough to teach, that didn't last the siege and stopped attempting scores that told the all too honest story of the scene. But rather kept it stupid simple with some songs about a creek and a love at 17 that in 3 and some odd minutes doesn't stray from G and D, whose sole artistic purpose is to end upon repeat so it can help to pad your streams. And that's the whole extent of the intent of its release. It's commodified and trial size and harmless as can be, except one simple sample that my handler sent to me. A background noise for background noise that's not to be perceived. But research shows the tone embeds in people's heads for weeks. He said if it makes the single, then we've got a gold EP. The kind of tune the unassuming dance to all too easily. The propaganda we don't understand, but we believe. They call him DJ Daedalus. He's famous in these streets. Come catch him live on Friday nights, the highest spot in Crete. He can't play you wind beneath my wings, it melted in the heat. His wax is to distract the mass and keep them on their feet. The beat will drop like Icarus and plummet sun to sea in a tragedy that history is happy to repeat. Some write the songs that tell the crowd our prison's something sweet. I write the songs that warn the crowd we're not allowed to leave. You can sneak it past the censors if you're clever and discreet. You just gotta add some whoa-ohs on the 5s and on the 3s, like Icarus cried YOLO when his feathers felt the breeze and it was lit until his drip began to dribble more than freeze, like the whoop of the millennium when Sisyphus concedes and accepts the path before him and how powerless he seems. That boulder isn't gonna roll itself from A to B, and embracing that will only set us free. Not freedom like what you gave up your privacy to keep. Not freedom like a flag with blood that's dried in every crease. Not freedom like Bill Gates promoting roaches over meat, like those locusts aren't a plague, they're just a substitute for wheat. But freedom like you'll never have to pay for air to breathe. Freedom like there's no one there to force you to conceive. Freedom like you're safe and have the simple things you need, like an overdue American reprieve. And that's all she wrote.
That's all he wrote.
Yeah, for now.
Officially. And that was a 3-piece. That was the third of a 3-piece triple threat. That was DJ Daedalus at the end there. If I go back, what were the titles?
Live from the Hall of the Undead.
Right. And then White
Power Blueprint.
Red Line White Power Blueprint. Oh my God.
It sounds like a Jeopardy category. I really want to do like a Jeopardy screen that's got different song titles of mine. Like that.
Either that or it sounds like it was something that came out of like one of those like Alabama commission things in like the 60s. You know, that was supposed to sound all homogenized, but it's just a red line, white power blueprint. That's all. Oh God. Yeah. That's woo. Yeah. So we're going to be back in a couple of weeks. Actually in 2 weeks. Yeah, I'm going to be back here. Good. I have a work trip, but it's going to be on the off week in between. So we're not going to miss any time. That's good. I'm pumped about that because I love doing the show. Again, shout out to Anna Mayers over on both the Rockfin and now she popped over on the YouTube to hang out with everybody in chat. I see we've got Lazy over here. We've got Extra over here. Camp David does look warm and inviting. And that's only because Jesse still needs to remember to snag the Chromebook so that he can use his beautiful Elgato camera, his beautiful new camera. But we need better equipment to get the camera going. So we're working on that. And shout out to Big Mad Crab. Hopefully next time we're going to be able to have some closing credits for this show. He's been working on some other ones.
Who are these people?
And shout out to Nancy for our themes, our initial theme song for everything. And yeah, we'll have to get one more. Yeah, there you go, Warren. So again, we're gonna have. Yeah, we're gonna have an awesome week again tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern. I believe we're still looking at, if Reef could correct me if I'm wrong. We're gonna have INN News, and then Thursday we're gonna have 6 p.m. We're gonna have the ALU organizers. We're gonna have Matt Cusick, and we're gonna have somebody else, a couple other people. And then Thursday night we're gonna do Rando round table, and I think that's gonna be 9:30 Eastern. 10 o'clock Thursday on Friday night, it's going to be Reaper After Dark. Saturday night, we got Secret Show. I'm guessing that's going to be sometime after midnight, but it's going to be secret. So you're going to have to follow youtube.com/extrabooyah and rockfin.com/extrabooyah, ROKFIN.com. It is an ad-free platform. You know, I was reading somewhere on a Slack from work that YouTube is now forcing you to watch 5 to 10 ads if you don't have premium or you don't have an ad blocker. If you don't, and you want to watch ad-free videos, and all of our streams are live and ad-free over on rockfin.com/INN. And I have a
That
channel over
explains
there.
why I'm suddenly making more from ad revenue from my songs on YouTube than I am from my songs on Spotify.
Yeah, they're forcing more ads in lately, and it's what they're
There's a lot
really
about
trying to
Spotify
do.
too.
Well,
Yes.
well, yeah, but they're also trying to force people to annoy people into buying premium. That's effectively what they're trying to do by jamming the ads. They do the same thing with Twitch. I mean, I've been on Twitch. It's like loading ad 1 of 22. It's like, okay, yeah, I'm closing the browser. I'm out. I'd rather just not sit here than watch 22 ads to get to the stream that I was already going to watch, and I'll watch it on somewhere else. Because we're on 7 platforms right now, plus independent left.news. Finnick, what's this? You're not going anywhere. What do you mean? Good. I'm glad you're not going anywhere. But we're
I used to be
gonna.
able to tell my kid, like, commercial would come on a YouTube video, but like, bro, this is nothing. Like, I used to have to sit through 2 minutes and 20 seconds or 2 minutes and 2 seconds of commercials. That's standard commercial break. I used to have to sit through that all the time. You get to just like, boom, rapid fire, whatever you want to watch. It's right there at your fingertips. Now I can't really say that because the YouTube commercial break is awfully fucking close to 2 minutes. It feels like.
That's
Just
pretty
sit
brutal.
down and like, oh, all right, buckle in, get some popcorn. It's commercial time.
Right? Like, yeah, we were conditioned with commercial TV our whole lives that like there was commercial breaks, and we would get at least a minute to 2 minutes. You go to the now you just pause or whatever, and now with a premium sub, and actually
it was so cute. He asked me, and it was like, it was so cute because he didn't have the concept of the commercial break, but he said, why do some of these shows go to a black screen? Then when they come back, it's the same moment. I was like, that's a very good question. We used to have to sit through commercials every fucking couple minutes.
Well, not just that, but yeah, it was,
you know, it was like there was cliffhangers, and like it was just a different kind of made sure you stuck around, you know.
Dun dun dun. Yep. For sure.
Yep. That'll happen, and then they come back, and he's like, "What was that for? Why did they do that?" And then leave and come right back.
Yeah, let alone like the end of seasons where they had cliffhangers. They had like halfway through an episode cliffhanger. It was 3 cliffhangers an episode. And now it's like 1 at the end of a season, and you have to binge watch 9 episodes or 22 episodes just to get to that cliffhanger. So we're gonna be back in a couple of weeks. It's already 11:30, and we have a lot happening. Again, we got clips for every show that's going to be coming out. By the way, if you did not get a chance this morning, there was a legendary combination this on AM Wake Up. Fiorella, Vanessa Beeley, and Eva Bartlett were all on live with Pasta and Steve. And I certainly encourage everybody to go and check that out on rockfin.com/AM Wake Up. I'm sure they're probably going to end up cutting that and putting it on YouTube, because it was a great time, and everyone was having fun, just going crazy to see the 3 of them together on camera. You don't see that very often. Yeah, you had Vanessa live from Syria, Eva live from Donbass, and then Fiorella live from Moscow. So, yeah, very very awesome. And I got to have my hour Friends of Indie left with Fiorella last week. That was just a blast. I was gushing, and she's like, "Gosh, Indy, could I ask another question if you weren't like gushing the whole hour?" It's like, oh well, okay, guilty as charged, but that's all right. You earn that once in a while.
Yep.
So definitely, I've got a bunch of clips set up from. Thank you to Phantomos Phanto, who cuts all the clips for INN. Basically, I do a few here and there. Reef does a couple, but Phanto has been a beast, and he's got. We have 8 clips queued up and ready to go from the Fiorella stream, and when we did that INN stream where we went through the Amazon article, Reef Cullen and I, he came to me, 18 clips. Here's the entire stream cut up into 18 clips. Like, dude, what? I gotta have 18 thumbnails made now. Thank you. All right, so Crab and Jimmy, if you're listening, 18 thumbnails we need to make for the Amazon stream. They're all titled. They're all ready to go. I just don't have original thumbnails, so we're going to have to figure out what we do with that.
Get
to work.
Start drawing.
Right?
Faster.
And we're going to have another announcement in the next week and a half or so. I haven't figured out exactly what the day is. Working on website, working on a couple of last minute things, but we're going to have a new project and a new thing launched that I think people are really going to like. It's going to be very cool. So stay tuned on that. And in the meantime, like, share, tip your waiter, tip your artist over here if you have a couple of bucks.
Those bucks.
And again, we thank you so much for being part of INN. This has been so much more than anything we ever could have imagined it was going to be. Again, this guy hadn't even been part of it when we first started it, and it just keeps growing and snowballing, and loving it. Seriously, I can't say enough. It's hard some days, but that's what family is. So well,
we're fucked.
That's true, but there's nobody I'd rather be fucked with. So let's just say let's just have Warren take us out. All right, good night, everybody.